breaking from the city ground. Forest faithful, brace yourselves, because what I'm about to reveal will shake the very foundations of our beloved club to its core. An owner playing the most dangerous game imaginable with UEFA's rulebook while secretly pulling strings from the shadows. A nail-biting transfer war erupting with West Ham over a French wonder kid worth millions. Our captain's soul-crushing confession about the real reason he rejected Tottenham's astronomical offer. Crystal Palace suffering a devastating blow just days before they face us in what could be season-defining clash. And a manager finally admitting the brutal truth about his completely collapsed relationship with our Greek businessman. 5 explosive revelations that could reshape Nottingham Forest's destiny forever, and the first bombshell detonates in exactly 30 seconds. But before we dive headfirst into this absolute chaos, if you bleed Garibaldi red more than you despise Derby County, if you believe in the magic of the city ground more than you fear what's coming next, then smash that subscribe button right now and prove to the entire football world that the Reds have the most passionate, loyal, and unbreakable fan base in England. Because what's coming next will either restore your faith in this beautiful club or leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the people running it. Evangelos Marinakis temporarily gave up control of Nottingham Forest, and the story behind this absolutely shocking move will make your blood boil with rage and disbelief. Picture this scene. April 29th, 2025. The city ground is buzzing with European dreams. We're sitting pretty just 2 points off third place, genuinely believing that Champions League football could return to Nottingham for the first time since the Brian Clough era. The fans are singing, the players are believing, and everything feels possible again. Then, like a bolt from the blue, our Greek owner officially stepped down as a person of significant control through Company's House, abandoning his legal position at the club when we needed leadership most. The reason behind this unprecedented move: UEFA's multi-club ownership rules meant he couldn't simultaneously control both Forest and his beloved Olympiacos if both clubs qualified for the Champions League. So what did our supremely cunning businessman do? He transferred his shares into what's euphemistically called a blind trust, supposedly removing himself from any executive decision-making, whilst his Greek darlings chase Champions League qualifications 7 points clear at the top of their domestic league. But here's where this story becomes absolutely ridiculous, almost insulting to our intelligence's supporters. During those crucial 6 weeks when Marinakis technically wasn't our owner according to legal documents, he was still prowling the city ground touchline like he owned the place. Still deep in heated conversation with Nuno Espirito Santo after that costly 2-2 draw with Leicester on May 11th. Still making his commanding presence felt in every corner of the club. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire called it exactly what it was when he told BBC Sport: a nominal activity designed purely to satisfy UEFA's legal requirements, whilst changing absolutely nothing in the day-to-day reality of who controlled our club's destiny. The blind trust existed solely on paper, a bureaucratic sleight of hand so transparent that even Stevie Wonder could see through it, fooling nobody except the supposedly intelligent officials sitting in their comfortable offices in Nyon. When we inevitably failed to secure Champions League qualification, finishing 7th instead of the 3rd place that seemed so tantalizingly close, guess what happened next? On June 6th, like magic, Marinakis reappeared as our controlling shareholder, holding 75% or more of the shares in the company, according to fresh Company's House documents. The whole elaborate charade lasted exactly as long as it needed to last, until the threat of UEFA sanctions completely disappeared and normal service could resume. It's absolutely brilliant in its shameless cynicism, terrifying in its implications for the integrity of European football. Our owner played the most dangerous game possible with UEFA's governing body and emerged victorious, but at what long-term cost to our club's reputation and internal stability? Because while Marinakis was juggling ownership documents and orchestrating blind trusts like some kind of legal magician, real decisions still needed making. Crucial transfers required immediate authorization, and our manager was left wondering who exactly he was supposed to be answering to during the most critical period of our season. Nottingham Forest are locked in the most intense €17 million bidding war with West Ham United for Monaco's rising superstar Sungu Tomagasa, and this epic battle could completely define our entire summer transfer strategy and long-term ambitions. The 21-year-old French midfielder, who made 31 impressive appearances for Monaco last season under the tactical guidance of Adi Hutter, has suddenly become the explosive focal point of the most brutal Premier League recruitment war we've witnessed all summer, with temperatures rising dangerously high between two ambitious clubs, desperate to secure his signature. Here's exactly how the financial numbers are stacking up in this heavyweight contest. We've already endured the crushing disappointment of seeing our initial €12 million bid contemptuously rejected by the Principality Club, but we've responded with characteristic Forest determination and fighting spirit, boldly tabling a substantially improved new offer worth exactly €17 million in fixed fees with no performance-related add-ons or complicated bonus structures. The massive problem we're facing. Those persistent hammers from East London have thrown down the ultimate gauntlet with a €19 million package that's structured as €16 million upfront plus €3 million in various performance-related bonuses that could potentially make the deal even more expensive. Monaco's shrewd negotiators are reportedly holding out for exactly €18 million as their absolute minimum acceptable fee, which means we're tantalizingly close to their valuation, but still frustratingly short of what they're demanding from potential suitors. But here's the absolutely fascinating twist that changes everything about this transfer saga. Our latest bid hasn't been outright rejected like our pathetic first attempt, strongly suggesting that the French club might genuinely prefer our cleaner payment structure, or honestly believe we possess the financial capability and determination to match their €18 million valuation before the transfer window slams shut. Magasa represents exactly the kind of versatile, technically gifted, physically robust midfielder who could absolutely thrive in the Premier League's relentless intensity and tactical complexity. His remarkable ability to seamlessly transition between multiple positions, from defensive midfield anchor to dynamic box-to-box destroyer, makes him absolutely perfect for Nuno Espirito Santo's tactical flexibility and strategic game plans. As Roma were also circling menacingly last week, according to reliable Italian sources, adding genuine Serie A flair and European pedigree to this increasingly international pursuit. But insider reports now suggest his immediate future lies firmly in England's top flight rather than Italy's technical excellence. The crucial question that will determine everything becomes exactly how desperately do we want him compared to West Ham's apparent desperation and willingness to overpay. David Moyes' eventual successor will be under enormous pressure to deliver immediate improvements and spectacular signings, whilst we're building confidently from our solid position of European qualification and growing belief throughout the squad. Morgan Gibbs-White rejected a staggering £60 million move to Tottenham Hotspur, and the deeply personal, emotionally devastating reason behind his dramatic last-minute decision will bring genuine tears to your eyes and restore your faith in football's humanity. Our 25-year-old captain and creative heartbeat was literally just hours away from becoming Daniel Levy's marquee summer signing back in July, with Tottenham's executives absolutely convinced they'd successfully triggered his release clause and a comprehensive medical examination scheduled for the very next morning at their state-of-the-art training facility. The contracts were meticulously prepared by expensive lawyers. The glossy announcement videos were professionally edited and ready for social media explosion. Tottenham's marketing department was preparing their biggest reveal of the summer, and their social media team was frantically designing graphics to unveil their spectacular new acquisition to millions of expectant supporters worldwide. But then real life intervened in the most heartbreakingly human way imaginable, reminding us all that behind every massive transfer saga are real people facing genuine struggles that dwarf any football considerations. Gibbs-White's beloved fiancée, Brittany de Villiers, was experiencing an extremely high-risk pregnancy with serious medical complications that left her posting worried updates from a sterile hospital bed, her face etched with the kind of fear and exhaustion that no amount of money can cure or comfort. It was a really difficult period for me and my fiancé, Morgan revealed to TalkSport during an emotionally charged interview, his voice heavy with the crushing weight of those absolutely terrifying weeks when football seemed completely irrelevant. Having my second child, but there were a few serious complications with all of that. I believed in being professional, showing up every single day and letting everything else take care of what it needs to do. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, even when that reason isn't immediately obvious. Picture this absolutely heartbreaking scene. Whilst Tottenham's excited executives were celebrating their transfer coup and Forest's lawyers were preparing aggressive legal action over what they believed constituted an illegal approach, our captain was spending sleepless nights in hospital corridors, holding his partner's trembling hand through the darkest, most frightening moments of their lives together. The enormous stress of a potential £60 million transfer combined with life-threatening pregnancy complications created a perfect storm of anxiety that nearly destroyed his family's peace and happiness during what should have been their most joyful and celebratory time. I think my fiancé is even more happy because she didn't get to carry on with all the stress, he admitted with obvious relief. And you can hear the genuine gratitude in those simple but powerful words. But here's where this story transforms from tragedy into something genuinely beautiful and inspiring. This terrifying crisis reminded him exactly why he fell in love with Nottingham Forest in the first place. Why the City Ground feels like home in ways that no other stadium could ever replicate. Crystal Palace are facing a significant and potentially season-defining transfer blow just days before Sunday's absolutely crucial Premier League clash with Nottingham Forest at Selhurst Park. And this completely unexpected setback could prove to be exactly the precious lifeline that Nuno Espirito Santo desperately needs to save his increasingly precarious managerial career. Oliver Glasner's ambitious Eagles are dealing with the devastating loss of a genuinely key squad member at the worst possible moment in their early season preparations, seriously weakening their tactical options and squad depth for what promises to be a defining early season encounter between two clubs harboring genuine European ambitions and dreams of continental competition. For us passionate Forest supporters, this represents an absolutely golden opportunity to build crucial momentum and confidence after our spectacular 3-1 opening day victory over Brentford at the atmospheric City Ground. A performance that showcased absolutely everything we love about this magnificent Forest team. That brilliant display demonstrated our pace, precision, tactical intelligence, and that absolutely indomitable fighting spirit that carried us to 7th place on European qualification last season against all odds and expectations. The legendary Trent End was a magnificent full voice throughout the 90 minutes. The players looked sharp, hungry, and completely focused on their objectives. And for one beautiful afternoon, all the complicated boardroom drama and ownership complications simply melted away like morning mist. Palace's unfortunate misfortune couldn't possibly have come at a better time for our under-pressure Portuguese manager, who desperately needs positive results and convincing performances to silence the growing whispers about his uncertain future and deteriorating relationship with our demanding Greek owner. A genuinely convincing victory in South London would provide essential stability and precious breathing room, allowing him to address the increasingly toxic relationship with Marinakis without the immediate crushing pressure of poor performances and disappointing results haunting his every decision. But there's a crucial psychological element operating here that could cut both ways with potentially devastating consequences. Exactly how will our players respond to knowing their respected manager is under intense scrutiny from media and supporters? Sometimes uncertainty and external pressure galvanizes a squad beautifully, creating that magnificent us against the world mentality that produces absolutely miraculous performances and unforgettable victories. Other times, doubt and fear spread through the dressing room like deadly poison, breeding dangerous hesitation and crippling anxiety that shows up in the most crucial moments when composure matters most. The Palace match represents our first genuine character test of the entire season, our first real opportunity to prove conclusively that external drama and boardroom politics won't affect what happens between the white lines when it matters most. If we can ruthlessly exploit their weakness and secure 3 vital points at Selhurst Park, It might just buy Nuno the precious time he desperately needs to rebuild trust and communication with our increasingly demanding owner. Forest faithful, we stand together at the most crucial crossroads in our entire modern history, where every single decision reverberates through the sacred foundations of the city ground for decades to come, shaping the destiny of generations of supporters yet to experience the magic of following this incredible club. What we've witnessed these past few dramatic weeks isn't merely transfer speculation or routine managerial uncertainty, it's the very essence and soul of our beloved club being tested under the most extreme pressure imaginable, challenged in ways that will define our character and values for years to come. Evangelos Marinakis has shown us exactly the extraordinary lengths he'll go to protect his growing football empire, playing elaborate and risky games with UEFA's complicated rules and blind trust whilst maintaining his iron grip on power and control over every aspect of our club's operations. The 6-week charade where he technically wasn't our legal owner yet still stalked our touchline like a commanding general tells you absolutely everything about his complex character. Brilliant, absolutely ruthless, and completely determined to have his cake and eat it too without facing any consequences. Our 17 million euro pursuit of Song Utu Magasa isn't just about signing another talented midfielder to strengthen our squad. It's about proving we can still compete with West Ham and London's established elite, even as internal fractures and personality conflicts threaten to tear us apart from within. That intense battle represents our ambition made manifest, our absolute refusal to accept mediocrity despite the chaos swirling around the boardroom and executive offices. But the most beautiful and inspiring story belongs entirely to Morgan Gibbs White, whose courageous decision to reject Tottenham's £60 million advances speaks to something far deeper and more meaningful than football success or financial gain. In choosing family over fame, the city ground over Tottenham's empty promises and shallow glamour, he embodies absolutely everything we love about this special club. Loyalty, heart, genuine passion, and the profound understanding that some things matter infinitely more than money or individual glory. His revelation about his fiance's high-risk pregnancy reminds us that behind every massive transfer saga are real people facing real struggles, making impossible choices with consequences that stretch far beyond 90 minutes on a football pitch. Crystal Palace's pre-match setback offers us a precious opportunity to steady the ship, just when everything else seems chaotic and uncertain. But it also raises the stakes dramatically for Nuno Espirito Santo's future at our club. Sunday's clash at Selhurst Park isn't just another routine fixture in a long season. It's a genuine referendum on our manager's deteriorating relationship with Marinakis, a decisive test of whether this talented squad can rise above boardroom politics to deliver the performances that truly matter when pressure mounts. The persistent whispers about Ange Postecoglou and Jose Mourinho grow louder with each passing day and each disappointing result. But here's what those rumor merchants and gossip peddlers don't understand about Nottingham Forest. This club has always been bigger than any individual, stronger than any crisis, more enduring than any ownership drama or managerial change. We've survived relegation battles, financial meltdowns, and decades of anonymity to reach this elevated point in our history. We've climbed from the championship wilderness to European competition, from irrelevance to genuine contenders, and we've done it together as one united family. Whether Nuno stays or goes, whether Marinakis continues his power games or finally learns to trust his football people, whether we sign Magasa or lose him to West Ham's superior offer, none of that changes the fundamental truth that this club belongs to its supporters, to the community, to everyone who believes in the magic of the city ground and the power of the Trent End. If you love Nottingham Forest more than you hate Derby County, if you trust in our European dreams more than you fear the uncertainty ahead, if you believe in the power of the Trent End more than any boardroom politics or ownership complications, then prove it right now. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel immediately, and show the entire football world that the Reds are coming back stronger than ever before. Because the next 72 hours will define our entire season and possibly our future. And I absolutely promise you won't want to miss a single moment of what could be the most dramatic chapter in our club's incredible story.